sleeping. The Champions League returns, which always seems to mean more disappointment for us Benfiquistas, but hey, it's not all about me. It's all about the UCL this week. All of it. So let's get going. Real Madrid looked solid against Galatasaray. Granted, there's an asterisk next to this, as coming into this, Galatasaray had scored 0 goals and conceded twice from their opening 3 matches, but Real Madrid, and especially Rodrygo Goes, looked pretty damn good. As I just said, I'm sorry, it's really late right now. The youngster scored twice in the first 7 minutes, then rounded out his hat-trick in the 92nd minute. In between that, Benzema scored a brace, and Sergio Ramos scored a cheeky penalty. 6-0, dude. And we have Rodrygo out here making Eden Hazard look like a schlub. Also, credit to Marcelo for setting up both of Rodrygo's goals in the first half before he was subbed off with an injury. And Rodrygo, with the Hattie, becomes the second youngest player to score a Champions League hat-trick behind only a club legend in Raul. Alright, in the other match, PSG had a tough time against Club Brugge. I mean, they were really laboring, but Mauro Icardi scored the winner. What was the eventual winner, I should say, at least in the 21st minute. Between then and the end of the match, Brugge had plenty of chances, including a second half penalty that Kehler, not good enough for Real Madrid, Navas was able to save. 1-0 PSG. Standings. With that win, PSG are through to the round of 16, while Real Madrid just need a win from their final 2 matches to secure their spot. Could be difficult though, as they play Brugge away and PSG at home. The final match against Brugge will be a massive one if they're able to get the win over Galatasaray, they being Club Brugge. Bayern Munich hosted Olympiacos under their temporary manager Hans-Dieter Flick. Apparently, Ralf Rangnick has said nah to their advances, and now Arsene Wenger is at the top of their list. This has nothing to do with anything. I don't know where I'm going with this, but no matter the manager, Robert Lewandowski doesn't care, as he'll score goals for whoever, as he did once again against Olympiacos. You want to hear something crazy? So that was his 6th Champions League goal. That's not the crazy part. But the crazy part is that he has scored in every match for Bayern, besides 2. Don't smack the mic, Adrian. The Super Cup, which you all know Adrian wouldn't even count that, and against Bochum in the DFB Pokal. That's it. 6 Champions League goals for him. Perisic scored the second late. 2-0 Bayern. They killed this game. Dominant. Tottenham were also pretty dominant in their match away to Red Star. In fact, I honestly thought that Tottenham would be there for the taking a bit. At least this Tottenham side, where all is not exactly right within the team and their form is a little bit off. But again, credit where credit's due, they were solid, getting a 4-0 win away at Red Star, which isn't always easy. The opener was an absolute classic, some pinball play going on there, and Son Heung-min looked good in this match with the 2 goals he scored. Eriksen gets the other one. Meaning, with their win, Bayern are through, while Tottenham and Red Star will play out their final 2 games, knowing that Spurs just need a victory against Olympiacos or away to Bayern, and they're through. Group C. Now this is where the fun is, man. In City versus Atalanta. Whew! So first of all, Atalanta, still my most disappointing team, obviously besides Benfica so far, but they at least were way better while hosting Man City in the second half. First off, a beautifully worked Sterling goal gave City the 1-0 lead in the first half. In the second, Pasalic leveled the score, which probably made the most emotional man in the game, Gabriel Jesus, cry a little bit as he missed a penalty earlier. In the 81st minute, Claudio Bravo came rushing out to stop an Atalanta attack, and his reckless tackle got himself sent off. A little bit unfortunate given that the Atalanta attacker, Ilicic, I believe it was doing the most to reach his little toes down and ensure there was contact, when in reality I think if he would have stayed on his feet, he could have scored. So, with no keeper on the bench after Ederson's injury, Kyle Walker put on the gloves. Absolute hero. One of the most likable guys in the game, in my opinion. And thankfully for them, he just had the 1 save to make, I believe. 1-1 the final in this one, but I stand by what I said. Had Ilicic just continued on, because he really could have, in my opinion, he could have just scored. In the other match, the 2 most even teams in the world, Dinamo Zagreb and Shakhtar, played out a classic. I told you, Group C is where the fun is at, and these 2 provided it. 1-1 at the half, then in the 73rd minute, the host Zagreb get Moro sent off. 6 minutes later, Shakhtar get Marlow sent off. Zagreb then go and score 2 goals, so we're at 3-1 Zagreb in the 89th minute. Job done, right? That's what the commentator thought, but nah, man. In the 93rd, one of Shakhtar's 200 Brazilians made it 3-2, and now it was really squeaky bum time for Dinamo Zagreb. 98th minute, I mean, Of course, Shakhtar found an equalizer. 3-3 the final. Dinamo and Shakhtar dropping blessings on us after their 2-2 from their last match. Whew, what a day in Group C. And look, you cannot separate these two in second and third. Atalanta aren't out of it yet. Those two draws between Shakhtar and Dinamo really helped their chances, but man, imagine if Ilicic had stayed on his feet and Atalanta had won. It would have been even more insane. I digress. Let's move on and never speak of it again. Before Bayer Leverkusen took on Atletico Madrid, one of the Bender boys, not sure whether it was Sven or Lars, said that anyone who saw the previous match between the two teams knew that they had a good shot at beating Atleti back in Germany. If there's one thing I know about the Bender boys, is that they never tell a lie. Because they are androids, they are not humans. I do not believe that these two guys are humans. 41 minutes in, Thomas Partey threw a bit of fortune their way as an unfortunate own goal found the back of the net thanks to him. On the other side of halftime, Kevin Volland made it 2-0. Atleti and Simeone absolutely hating life in Leverkusen at this moment, but from there, they started to come into the match more, generating some decent opportunities which were spurned until the 94th minute. Playing with an extra man after Amiri was given a red card for a rash challenge on Arias. I mean, I don't even think that it was the worst tackle on the night. Well, maybe it was the worst tackle on the night, but it wasn't that bad. Yellow would have been fine. Red's fine too, I guess, but a little bit harsh in my book. Anyway, Morata takes advantage of the man advantage. 2-1 Leverkusen in the 94th minute, and had it not been for a great save by Hradecki, it would have been 2-2. But Leverkusen get the 3 points. Juve went off to Lokomotiv and struggled against them once again. Juve, after looking so good at times, namely against Inter, have for me at least begun to regress a bit again, to cool off a bit. Everything seemed like a labor for them in this game, and perhaps in saying so, I'm taking away from Lokomotiv's defensive performance a bit, but I mean, there was a moment where, had it not been for Bonucci on the line, João Mario would have put Lokomotiv 2-1 ahead. He didn't though, and thanks to Douglas Costa's individual brilliance, Juve took the 3 points. And with those 3 points, they take themselves into the round of 16. Atletico need a win against Juve or Lokomotiv in order to book their place in the round of 16. Liverpool had a few scares at times in their match against Genk, playing at home and resting a few players such as Robertson, Mane, Firmino. Maybe saying that they had some scares is a bit of a stretch actually, but they certainly had some frustrations against the Belgian side. Things started promisingly enough with Gini Wijnaldum scoring a bit of a scrappy goal. Decent kind of finish on that one though. But before the half was up, Samara equalized for Genk from a corner. Liverpool's set-piece defending could have been better in the last few matches, I gotta say. But they found their winner in the second half as Salah dished to Oxlade-Chamberlain, a scorer of many goals lately. 4 in his last 4, and that was that for this match. 2-1 Liverpool. They needed that win to truly take control of this group, or at least to stay within touching distance of Napoli, and given that Napoli is in a poor run of form these days, that win for Liverpool was a landscape changer in the group. Napoli hosted Salzburg, everyone's favorite dark horse, and couldn't get the job done at home. Another goal from Haaland was the equalizer in that game. 1-1 the final. Haaland becomes the 4th player to score in his first 4 UCL appearances. That takes his tally to 7 in 4 matches, which is the most that anyone has ever managed to score in their first 4 matches in the competition. 2 more, in fact. Thank you, Opta, for that stat. So with Napoli drawing and Liverpool winning, the defending champions take the lead with 9 points before they go away to Napoli and Salzburg. Weird scheduling, by the way. 2 away matches in a row. Oh, we had some classics this week, man. Some very good matches. Inter away to Dortmund being one of those very good matches. Inter is a bit of a weird team this season, no? They seem so promising, they show such great signs, and then things like what occurred in Dortmund happen. After going 2-0 up in the first half with goals from Lautaro and Vecino, after the half, the Dortmund revival began, starting with one of Dortmund's better attackers in the UCL this season, Achraf Hakimi, with the setup coming from Mario Götze. Later, Julian Brandt scored his 3rd in his last 3 appearances, 2-2. Oh baby, can they fully turn this around? In the 77th minute, they do. Jadon Sancho and Hakimi once again, and the Moroccan once again scores his 4th in the Champions League so far. 3-2. Very evenly matched teams. Barcelona struggled yet again against Slavia Praha. They finished 0-0 at Camp Nou. Messi with a great strike off the bar. Vidal had a goal disallowed. Slavia with some okay opportunities. And Ernesto needs the sack real bad. Like I said on Monday's weekend recap, this man is completely out of his depth, and he has done well to prove that he is completely out of his depth time and time again since he's been at Barcelona. He is not the man to take Barcelona to a Champions League final. He could win them La Liga, sure. And even if they made the Champions League final, my confidence in him being able to set the team up right both tactically and mentally, way low. Get him out, Mourinho in. Can you imagine? Mourinho makes his big return to Barcelona, this time as the manager, after all that he has said and done since leaving there. Whew, drama. Make it happen, football lords. Let's go. Anyways, that draw still leaves Barcelona top of the group, while Dortmund are in second. Inter, a bit of pressure on them now as they are a full 3 points behind Dortmund, who are yet to play Barcelona. You'd fancy them in that match, given the current form of the two, I would think, maybe. I don't know, Dortmund's a weird side too. And then there's Slavia Praha at the bottom. Group G, okay, here we go. Benfica away to Lyon, and I was stoked because we named a good lineup besides starting Jetson on the wing over PC. That Jetson on the wing or as a second striker experiment has to be over Bruno Lage. Please, stop. But this was a typical Benfica performance in the Champions League. Terrible. I mean, like my man Cristiano said on Twitter, they've only won 3 of their last 17 matches in the Champions League. We are a joke. I'm not even being a poor supporter when I say that, just a realist. We're an absolute joke in this competition, and it hurts, man. We embarrass ourselves on the regular. I mean, Lyon took a vacation in that second half, and we still could only score 1 and concede 1 as well. 3-1 Lyon the final. We're completely ineffectual around the box. Our defending is poor. It's rough. I mean, it doesn't help when we are basically, as Mario from Benfica After 90 has been saying for a while, using the Champions League as like our sales pitch for some of our young players. Like, what is Thomas Tavares doing at right back? He's played like 0 minutes, and that's not true. He hasn't played 0 minutes in the league, but he's played few minutes in the league, and I think he's played in like 3 matches for us in the Champions League. Maybe 4. In the other match. Don't talk to me about Marcel Sabitzer because I've been talking about Marcel Sabitzer on this channel. And what did he do once again for Leipzig? Against Zenit? That's right. He scored the second in a 2-0 win for Leipzig. They really did do us a favor. Why do I say that? Well, Leipzig are top with 9 points. 1 more win from their final 2 matches will see them through. And they play Benfica at home, and we all know how terrible Benfica is in Germany. We're not dead yet. Benfica's not dead yet, but we got to beat Zenit at home and just hope for the best as far as other results go. This Ajax team, they're incredible. How naive of me to think that Benfica could potentially pull off what Ajax did last season, let alone what they're capable of pulling off this season. And what a match they had with Chelsea, another team that is impressing me this season. I mean, if I could get Benfica to be as good as Chelsea are right now, I would be over the moon. But Chelsea is a totally different case. Anyways, move on from Benfica. Stop thinking about it, Adrian. It's just bringing you down. Okay, everyone. Welcome to the Hakim Ziyech show. How cringy is that? It's super cringy, right? So, playing at Stamford Bridge, Tammy Abraham's weak attempt at a clearance went right past his own keeper just a couple of minutes into the match. Then the craziness continued as Veltman took down Pulisic and Jorginho converted 1-1 after just a few minutes. 15 minutes later, Ziyech whips in a beauty for Promes to head past Kepa, 2-1. Then Ziyech caused even more problems as his audacious free kick from close to the corner flag banged off of the post, then off of Kepa's beak and in. 3-1 Ajax. After the half, Ziyech found Van de Beek, and his first touch from the driven pass was sublime, 4-1, but Chelsea pulled one back shortly after, and then all hell broke loose. Danny Blind and Veltmans each got their second yellow card in the matter of seconds, 2 red cards in under a minute for Ajax, the second of which was for Veltman's handball, which gave away a penalty. From the spot, it was 4-3 thanks to Jorginho, his second from the spot and in the match. And from a corner, Chelsea hit the bar but converted the rebound via Reece James. 4-4 the final. Chelsea scored a 5th, but it was taken back due to an unfortunate Tammy Abraham handball. And with the chances that Chelsea had, I mean, Cho came close, Batshuayi should have finished them off. They should have won this game. Valencia smashed Lille at home. Lille, I had such high hopes for you to be a shit disturber in this group, but you have let me down. 4-1 win for Valencia. All of their goals came in the last 25 minutes of the game. What a collapse from Lille. So, this group is wild. First through third, all on 7 points each, while Lille are dead already. Not mathematically, but they're pretty much dead. Let's be real. 1 point for them. It is bedtime for me. That should do it, guys. That's all you need to know. A nice sample platter of everything UCL this week. As per usual, if you liked the video, then a like is always appreciated, but a dislike is also understandable. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm Adrian. I love ya, and take care.